I'm LP Master 6, and welcome to Star Fox 64 for the Nintendo 64, obviously. Released in 1997 in all regions, even though some sources say 96, and I'm not sure why, because it didn't come out then. Except for China, where it came out in 2003 for the IQ player. I'm going to try not to talk over the game's magnificent voice acting.
We need your help, Star Fox. Andross has declared war. He's invaded the Lilat system and is trying to take over Corneria. Our army alone can't do the job. Hurry, Star Fox.
This is known as Lilat Wars in PAL regions, Europe and Australia. I'm not sure why it's not called Star Wing 64, because Star Fox 1 is called Star Wing over there. But things are made even more confusing because this isn't actually a sequel to Star Fox on the SNES. This is a reboot. You might be asking, why did they decide to reboot a series with only one game in it? Well, actually, it had two games. And no, I'm not telling you a neat fact you already know about Star Fox 2. I'm talking about Super Star Fox Weekend, okay? So no matter how you look at it, this is the third game in the series. Unless you count Star Fox 2 earlier, then it's the fourth. But I'm not, because we haven't played Star Fox 2 on the channel because it got released in 2017. But I guess I'll rehash the story everybody knows already and get it out of the way. Argonaut Games developed the Super Effects chip and co-developed alongside Nintendo Star Fox 1. They then went on to develop Star Fox 2 mostly by themselves with just assistance from Nintendo and input. And toward the end of Star Fox 2's development, they started development on Star Fox 64. Star Fox 2 was completed in its entirety in 1996, but Miyamoto decided to shelve the project and just cancel it entirely because he thought, what's the point? Because the Nintendo 64 is just going to blow it out of the water and make Star Fox 2 look pointless. So Argonaut was very upset, especially because Star Fox 64, even according to Nintendo, just took a bunch of ideas, characters, mechanics, etc. from Star Fox 2 and never gave Argonaut any credit. They never got any money for the use of their code in this game. Argonaut also had their idea for Super Mario 64. Of course, their idea was for a 3D Yoshi platformer, stolen from them. Miyamoto thanked them for the idea. They never got money from that either. So this game officially ends the partnership between Argonaut and Nintendo, which is pretty sad if you ask me, because Argonaut was clearly a talented company. And Star Fox 2 was released after they went under. So, big shame, but I'm done talking about Star Fox 2 for the most part. We're here to talk about Star Fox 64, which was named Star Fox The Cosmic Crisis. In pre-release footage and materials. They talk because, you know, they're based on Thunderbird's puppets. We talked about that in the first game. I'm going to be mentioning the first game a lot because I like to view games in release order. I did the same thing with Earthbound Beginnings and Earthbound. Everybody talks about Star Fox 1 and relates it to Star Fox 64. I'm trying to do the other way around. So I want people to appreciate this as a reboot and not just the game. I mean, of course, it is a great game in its own right. But, okay, I'm going to go ahead and press start after I say, does this make the 64 logo technically a playable character? Let's finally get into it. If you wait long enough on the title screen without moving the 64 around, you'll see the rankings. I deleted all my save data. My high score ever, because I'm not very experienced at this game. I was terrible at it until I started practicing for this series. My high score was 1,039, which is not bad. We get more details here, but it's just this. You'll understand more about this later, but it only saves the top 10 rankings. Sound, I don't have much to change here. There is still a headphone thing, as there always is. Oh. I forgot it plays the opening for a test. But we're going to leave everything all the way up. And I did this earlier. It made the Rumble Pack go crazy because this game was packaged with the Rumble Pack. It was the very first game with Rumble technology, which is standard and commonplace nowadays, mostly in the 2000s. Pretty much every game had it. But I already cleared it just so you wouldn't get any spoilers. We're going to do training mode. Alright, I'm going to avoid mentioning things that you already know from Star Fox 1. That guy is Rob64. That's not his name at all in Japan. But he is a reference to R.O.B. Rob the Robot, you know, from the NES. And we didn't experience any of that guy's games. Oh, yeah, pretty basic mechanics. I don't know how I was so bad at this game. I played its remake mostly, and I never beat it until like 2016 when I was 18 years old. Oh, challenging stuff. We have enemies now. But, you know, I'm not that great at it, but I'm not that bad. A score over 1,000 in any game, you know, can't be terrible. I was originally going to have a co-host, and as a matter of fact, we recorded the entire series together. But the footage was completely unusable. It was so quiet, you couldn't hear Galen at all, but that is my former roommate and a guy who's been in a million of my videos. He is pretty much an expert on this game, and I let him do oops, not a good sign for things to come. I let him do an entire run of the game himself, and everything, but I can't afford to sit around and wait for whenever we can record again, so I'm just recording it myself. So sorry, everybody. I know you guys don't care, the viewers, because for whatever reason my multiplayer stuff gets way less watch time than my single player stuff, so I guess it's good for you guys, but I'm sad about it. But this guy is the only character in the game to not be fully voice acted. The voice acting in this game is insanely impressive for the time. This was a real fuck you to Sony fans here, because everybody was saying, all the third-party companies were like, no, you can't get good sound compression on a cartridge, you need a CD. You know, talking about how cartridges were basically worthless compared to CDs. But Nintendo already proved load times were unnecessary in games with Super Mario 64 and Mario Kart 64 and all the other 64 games at this point. But this, there is almost 30 minutes of voice lines in this game. There I'm not going to get hung up on grammar right now. I'm really sorry. I feel dumb. Should have braked. That's okay. Ooh, it's teaching us the somersault. A new move. Let's do it. Wait, I missed a ring? The counter on the right resets if you miss a ring. The counter on the left is your hit counter, which you get a bonus for if you charge up and hit multiple targets at the same time. He's teaching us a U-turn, which is a move we can't even use right now, so I don't know why he's doing that. This only works in all range mode. But this guy's name is Yaru de Pont, or Pon. It can be translated either way, with a T or without a T. But I believe it's with a T because Yaru de Pont would make him a reference to... Oh. I screwed that up. Thanks, Rob. He's a reference to Henry de Pont, who was a guy who played both sides in the American Civil War. This guy, this Tanuki, Yaru here, is the president and founder of Space Dynamics Company Limited, the name of which is a reference to Nintendo Company Limited. And on the Star Fox 64 Japanese website, our companion Slippy Toad talks about him and says that his father is the head engineer, his father Beltino Toad, at Space Dynamics. And that they designed the R-Wing together, these two guys, Yaru and Beltino. But Slippy says that his father believes Yaru de Pont is making under-the-table deals to Andros. So he's fueling both sides of the war. There are hints to this later in the game that I'll probably forget to mention, but a lot of the technology on both sides of the war looks kind of the same, and that's why. So there you go. That is my favorite fact about Star Fox 64. Oh, I love it so much. Alright, he's just kind of repeating himself here. At a certain point, he will tell us to get lost. But... Alright, bombs are now known as smart bombs. The silver rings are still called supply rings. Wing repairs are called... they're not called wing gyros anymore. They're called wing repairs. The gold rings are called shield rings. If you get 3, you get a health gauge extension. Your health gauge almost doubles, if not doubles. And if you get 3 more in the same stage, or 3 more while you already have a health extension, you will get a 1-up, which is very useful. Alright, we're going to exit training mode now. Sorry for wasting your time for 11 minutes almost. Let's just get into the game. And I'm going to shut up. Enjoy the exposition.
Corneria, 4th planet of the Lilat system.
And this guy's sexy voice.
Andros turned this once thriving system into a wasteland of near extinction.
Yes, the Lilat system is no longer said to be the center of the Milky Way galaxy like it was in the first game. Never mentioned again.
Planet Venom. 5 years later, General Pepper noticed strange activity coming from Venom. James McCloud, Pigma Dangar, and Peppy Hare of the Star Fox team were sent to investigate. Upon their arrival, Pigma betrayed the team, and James and Peppy were captured by Andros. Peppy barely escaped Venom and returned home to tell James' son, Fox, about his father's fate. A few years have passed. Andros has again invaded the Lilat system. General Pepper has turned to a new Star Fox team, headed by Fox McCloud, to save Corneria and free the Lilat system once again.
Now, of course, this leaves out subtle details of the plot. And whereas the first game, again, not really plot relevant, only mentions Fox's father 1.5 times, this game certainly makes up for that and actually gives him a name here. But let's press A and go to our first stage.
It's about time you showed up, Fox. You're the only hope for our world.
I'll do my best. Andros won't have his way with me.
I keep wanting to make some sort of sex joke with that, but you can do that with most of the lines in the game, and I'm upset I can't think of a good one for that. I'll explain the level mechanics in a minute, because we got more voice acting I want you to hear.
Open the wing. Check your G-diffuser system.
Falco here. I'm fine.
In the Japanese version, he says, "It's a little off, but I'm fine."
This is Peppy. All systems go.
Flippy here. I'm okay.
I see him up ahead. Let's rock and roll.
Oh, I love the 90s cheese so much. It's just, oh, it's so good. And boy, I'm going to take off the rumble pack in case you guys can hear that really well after this level. I just wanted to kind of prove that I had it, because I bought it on eBay. I didn't have one as a kid.
Get back here.
Slippy!
Hey, what's the big
Unlike the first game, you can do damage to your teammates when you shoot them. But
Whoa!
they don't experience permadeath anymore, so
I thought they had me.
it's kind of a trade-off. If they go down and lose all their health, they will be gone for the rest of that stage and then the next stage, but they'll come back after that. With some exceptions. Oh, enjoy the graphics, everybody. Even though the city has been destroyed. Okay, Mario Kart 64 is kind of a mixture of realistic graphics and the Mario 64 3D interactive cartoon type graphics. General Pepper signs! You can tell this is definitely wartime. It's very sad. So remember from the first game, it's fighting like dogs and monkeys. The other side is all monkeys, which really I wish they would have taken more references to that a little more subtly because of, you know, racial tensions here in the West. America, I mean, especially. Actually, I don't keep up with racial tensions in other countries. Maybe I should, but I don't. but you know what I mean.
I'll take this.
So,
Get the one
you get the impression that, you know, there's a lot wrong with both sides, but clearly Andros is the bad guy. And Andros, you know, killed your father.
I guess I should be thankful.
Alright. If you don't say Falco there, he will die pretty quickly. They expect you on your first run through the game, you know, to not be able to save him. But I am more experienced than that. Alright. So, there are 16 technically stages in the game. Unlike the first game, where, man, I'm not doing so hot. I'm so sorry, guys. I cannot talk and play this game at the same time. Oh, which is unsurprising, you know. That's how it is with most games, honestly. Especially ones I'm not that good at, like this one. And I'm going to miss the arches. Alright, so there are that many stages, but the first game lets you choose what stages you want to play. It lets you choose from 3 different paths, different difficulty levels. In Corneria, the first stage is different every time. Oh! I didn't get both rings. That would have been nice. I wanted the 1-up. Oh, well.
All range mode.
Here we go. All range mode, a leftover from Star Fox 2 that they stole. All range mode is cool, but it doesn't work that amazingly.
I'm going to crush you.
God, the villain voice acting is so good. Most of these guys don't have names. The machines they're carrying do, but the pilots who are actually talking to us do not have names.
Will die.
You'll notice we're not actually doing damage to him. Slippy is the one that shows you the health meter of the boss. I shot off the boss's legs, so he can't hurt us. You can only hurt his back. There we go.
I failed you.
And he dies in a violent explosion. Beautiful. Oh, I love it. This song is pretty good. Oh, man, I got so much to talk about.
We're heading out.
All right, okay.
All aircraft report.
Yeah, I'm going to start talking over the voice acting now, because I got a lot to say.
Worries for a moment.
The first game let you choose different paths based on difficulty. Star Fox 2 was basically entirely open.
I'm fine.
They made a compromise for this game, where there are different paths, but instead of choosing one at the beginning, also because they thought Star Fox, this is the worst score I've ever gotten on Corneria. Well, not ever, but lately, since I've been good enough at the game. Oh, God. Oh, I gotta sneeze. It's not coming out, though. Alright, I'm gonna stay on the map so I can get my bearings while I talk about this. Your path is determined on what actions you perform in the stage. Usually, to get the hard path, you have to do something hard and optional to stay on the hard path, or the medium path. There are only 2 endings to the game, but there are 25 paths to beat the game. There are always 7 stages, and you can do a number of different things in each stage to go to a different area. You can see on the map, it'll have lines pointing to each place you can go. Actually, this is a bad example because there is a warp. You know, there are a couple warps in the first game. There are no secret stages here. It's just these 15, 16 if you count both Venoms as separate stages. And that's it. No secret stages, no out of this dimension, which is a huge disappointment. No black hole. But Meteo, which we're about to go to, has a warp where we can go to a different stage. I'm just showing all the... I'm showing the easy path right now. The bare bones, what you're supposed to do on your first run through the game, easy path. Then I'm going to do the medium path. There's not really a medium path per se. They cut out a lot of the stages on that in development. And there's not a medium ending. I'll try to go for the hard ending, and I might fail it, so I'm going to be doing the full hard path all the way. But for example, in Corneria, you have to save Falco and fly under all 7 of those stone archways to unlock the different ending to Corneria, which leads you to the hard path. Now you can always press start, and if you unlocked the hard path or the medium path or whatever, you can hit change course, which will be on this screen. You can say proceed to next course. That'll just automatically take you to the hardest path you unlocked. Or you can try again for a better ending to the stage with that. But you lose a life. So that pretty much explains the mechanics decently. Now I can actually talk about gameplay mechanics.
Impressive, Star Fox. Now watch out for enemies in the asteroid field.
I won't let you down, sir.
Fox just has such boring lines in these scenes. Do I need to mention the whole common sci-fi fact of, actually, asteroids are several hundreds of miles apart, so this wouldn't happen? Who cares? There's not anthropomorphic foxes in space, so... But this is originally called Asteroid in Development, and it was the Star Fox 1 level. But they changed most of the Star Fox 1 level names. Quit dinking around, Slip. I love it so much. That ship that follows us around is the Great Fox. It is a ship that our father took out an 80-year loan for with terrible interest rates to build. He died while it was still in construction because, you know, he was betrayed by his teammate, the expert pilot, Pigma Dingar, who sold them out for money. Of course, Peppy escaped, blames himself for it, became a sort of surrogate father to Fox. Same with General Pepper. He felt badly sending James McCloud to his death. So he also, you know, does whatever he can for Fox. So they have a pretty good relationship. But the Star Fox is not part of the Cornerian army. They are mercenaries, a third-party group that were hired because General Pepper spent a lot of tax dollars, I guess, to construct the R-Wings. But his pilots, because they have the G diffuser in them, which lets them, you know, fly all over the place, make U-turns and do all these fancy things. You're supposed to be able to get all three here. I can only ever get 2 tops of those items. Ooh. Oh, I got hit by that? I'm surprised. But, okay, you can just kind of boost to easily get through these.
Use the brake.
Peppy will tell you to use the brake or the boost. I'm just gonna, you know...
The boost to get through.
Uh-oh, I screwed up. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, perfect. I got 7 bombs. The max is 9.
Location confirmed.
Okay, you can pretty much only kill these things with bombs. You can kill some of these asteroids, but not all of them. If you miss the C right prompts, then you won't get your supplies from the Great Fox. But Fox inherited the loan because he wanted, you know, the ship not to get repossessed. So Star Fox is always broke. But there were not talented enough pilots in the Cornerian army to pilot the R-Wings, so they got Fox and his team. Falco is an even better pilot than Fox. Fox is just more calm and collected, so he is the leader. Also because, you know, he inherited the company. Falco has no backstory, but his gameplay purpose is he pretty much does the most damage to enemies, although all your teammates are pretty much useless like the first game, with a few exceptions. Anytime they say the enemy is coming from behind, you should go down, except in that instance. Ooh. There's not really a hint to tell you that. If you shoot a bomb here, I should be able to take out a lot of those, yes. Now, Galen always told me I should be barrel rolling a lot more because that will deflect enemy lasers. Yes, thank you, Falco. You killed like 1 enemy for me. I appreciate it. But Falco will give you hints on how to get alternate paths. So he's technically the most useless, but everybody likes him because he's cool and cocky. Very popular 90s-esque character. Oh god, Slippy. Nope! Oh, almost missed the checkpoint. Not that I'm gonna need it. I don't think I'm gonna die on the easy path. I might. I did in the first recording. I can recommend charging up to get a hit bonus. Ooh, thank you, Falco. I appreciate that. Ooh, 1-up. Nice. I love it. This is a warp. Now, I'm not going to take it. Oh, I'd rather have the gold ring anyway. Yep. Now, it is a decent strategy if you want to, instead of get the 1-up, get a health extension on the next stage. You can make sure you have 2 gold rings when you finish the stage and then just get 1 in the next stage and you will have, you know, a health extension. Ooh, ooh. Gold ring, yes! Oh, I'm obsessed with these things for some reason. I'm not sure why. They're just fun collectibles. They serve 2 purposes. Not 1, but 2! And that's exciting. Now,
Cannot allow you to go any
any further. Oh, beautiful voice acting. Here is our boss. I believe this was also an enemy in Star Fox 1. Actually, I'm not sure if the Corneria boss is, but I don't remember most of their names. They're not in the credits of this game like they were the first. But again, pretty easy boss here, as you'd expect from the easy path, no less. No less. No less than what? What are you talking about? Get your words together. Peppy Hare is, of course, an expert pilot. He was not as good as James or Pigma. Pigma was the best pilot in the original Star Fox. Shame he's not here anymore. You can assume works for Andros now. But, excuse me, that's weird. I was doing no damage. Okay, that was really weird. It's the longest I've ever taken to beat this boss.
I'm no match for you.
Oh, I love this. They show you
I admit defeat.
just how badass Star Fox is, that even Andros' army is terrified on the easy
Are you
path.
gonna listen to that monkey?
Yeah, I lied. Falco just shows some racism and shows us that he was tricking us. Because that's what bad guys do. The good guys don't trick you like that.
I can't believe I
Lost to the scum!
Sorry to
Another sex joke
but
there
I'm
if you
in a
just,
hurry.
you know, take the S out of scum. Haha, because I'm hilarious. Oh, sorry, I said I was going to take the rumble pack out. My bad. But Peppy will give you hints on boss weak points.
All aircraft report.
And of course tell you when to boost and break. Not always, but mostly just in the last 2 levels, because they were Miyamoto directed. Miyamoto wanted to make sure the first 30 minutes of the game were extremely accessible. That was always his thing. Those were the only levels he directed. He was producer on the game, not the director, but he really nitpicked every detail of Corneria and Meteo, because he wanted to make sure people knew what they were doing as soon as they picked up the game. I mean, that was his whole thing, you know? But there are plenty of articles and videos and books that will tell you about that. Like Ask Awada? Ooh, just finished that book. It was amazing. And Slippy Toad, who is, you know, an expert engineer and mechanic. His only thing... Oh, Peppy's a lot older than he was in the first game also, because they gave him this backstory. Slippy is a lot younger. He's the youngest member of the team. They all have ages, but I forget what they are. I think Slippy's like 17 or something like that. But, of course, Slippy helped design a lot of things and was presumably... this was Galen's theory, and it makes sense, because Slippy's not actually a very good pilot. So you may wonder, why is he in an R-Wing if the soldiers, the professionally, highly trained soldiers, can't pilot them? Well, that's because Slippy was probably a test pilot for the R-Wings, being Beltino's son. Slippy has made several war vehicles. Not several. Okay, he's made at least one. We'll see that later. And he will show you the boss's health meter. So, he's pretty useful. Everybody calls him useless and acts like he's just the most annoying character of all time, especially back in the 90s. Just go look at old internet posts. Man, they will hate on Slippy so much. He's my favorite of all 4 characters. I like him better than Fox. Fox is, of course, just a projection of the player. Miyamoto was surprised that they had Fox talk, because, you know, in Miyamoto's eyes, player characters just don't talk. But Miyamoto just let most of the team do whatever they wanted, and that's why there's so much voice acting and why it's so movie-esque, because Miyamoto would have never done that. But we'll talk more about that later. I'm going to cut the video off here. I love you guys. I'm LP Master 6. Shout out to Galen. This series is dedicated to him. Goodbye.